In history today, in 1692, the events that unfolded in Salem, Massachusetts, left an indelible mark on the pages of history. The tranquil town was shaken by the peculiar behaviors of young girls, igniting accusations of witchcraft. Salem descended into its own darkness. Suspicion and fear pervaded the community, turning even close neighbors against each other. It became a time of witch hunts, where the innocent were accused and trials lost their sense of justice. These events are not just a story of a period. They serve as a mirror reflecting the depths of human nature. The Salem witch trials stand as a stark warning, revealing the darker sides of society, showcasing how beliefs and fears can lead to devastating consequences. Today in history. In the lands of South Carolina, the tracks of a courageous man were heading towards the doorway of change. Even after the devastation of war, the hope for freedom still gleamed. Joseph H. Rainey embarked on a journey to Congress with a heart filled with hope and determined steps. As a black man, he took a step that would alter his destiny. And when the day arrived, history recorded him as the first black man elected to the United States Congress. Rainey's election wasn't just a personal triumph. It symbolized the hope of millions and the quest for equality. In the halls of Congress, a new voice advocating for the rights of black people had emerged. Today in history. Paris, 1911. Mona Lisa, one of the precious treasures of the Louvre Museum, vanished mysteriously. The painting disappeared not only through a traceless theft, but also left a grand question mark. Where had Mona Lisa gone? The police initiated a worldwide search while conducting their investigation. Every lead was pursued, yet the painting remained lost. Years passed, but the secret of this mysterious disappearance remained unsolved. Then finally, after years, the painting emerged in an unexpected place, discovered in the home of a collector in Florence. It was found as a part of an old and forgotten collection. The vanishing and rediscovery of Mona Lisa are remembered in the art world not just as a historical event, but as an enduring mystery that continues to captivate curiosity. Today history. Today in history. In the year 557, Constantinople, the radiant capital of the legendary Byzantine Empire, was rocked by a massive earthquake. This powerful tremor, emerging from the depths of the earth, made the very sacred stones of the city tremble. Historians of that time describe the magnitude, intensity, and devastating impact of this natural occurrence in an awe-inspiring manner. As winds carried the breath of wrathful gods, the lands seemed to transform into a battleground. Crumbling buildings, collapsing structures, and lost lives orchestrated a dolorous melody in the heart of the city. This event left a profound mark on the city, charting a new direction in the journey of people's destinies. During a time fraught with challenges, the resolute populace of Constantinople became a symbol of resilience and rebirth. Today in history. Upon the death of King James V of Scotland in 1542, his youngest daughter Mary Stuart, who ascended to the throne when she was only 6 days old, became Queen of Scots. This event occurred in the midst of complex relations with England, and little Mary's accession to the throne attracted the attention of England and increased the conflicts in the region. The young queen became involved in the complex political games that shaped Scotland's future. Mary Stuart's ascension to the throne caused the beginning of her rivalry with Queen Elizabeth I of England. This period in Mary Stuart's life began the story of international intrigues and struggles for the throne. Her accession to the throne at the age of 6 days is just a slice of the complex life of the young queen. Today in history. What happened in history on December 15, 1791? The Bill of Rights, which is a collection of mutually reinforcing guarantees of individual rights and limitations on federal and state governments, were adopted as a single unit. 1933, Miriam Ferguson, the first female governor, takes office in the USA. 1939, Gone with the Wind, drama film directed by Victor Fleming and starring Clark Gable and Vivian Leigh, premieres in Atlanta. 2011. The Iraq War officially ended as the United States formally declared that its mission in the country was over. Please subscribe to our channel. Do not forget to like our video and continue to follow our content about other historical events. Today in history. The Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine announced that during a local council meeting in the Zakarpattia region, 26 people were injured, 6 of them severely, as a result of a member of parliament detonating hand grenades in the room. The cause of this tragic incident is still under investigation. Today in history. The revolution that started in Timișoara, Romania in 1989 spread rapidly with the people's demands for freedom and democracy. The people in Timișoara ignited the revolution by opposing oppressive policies and economic problems. These demands were spreading to other cities. As the violence of the demonstrations increased, the voice of the people against the government became louder, especially in Timișoara. The increase in violence made the revolution inevitable. Following the demonstrations, Nicolae Ceausescu's government was weakened and was overthrown a few days later. Ceausescu and his wife were sentenced to death by extrajudicial execution. This revolution brought the end of the communist regime in Romania. The people in Timișoara have taken an important step in their quest for democracy and freedom. It is important to remember this historic revolution in Timișoara. Please subscribe to our channel. Do not forget to like our video and continue to follow our content about other historical events. Today in history. Off the coast of Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers made the historic first flight on December 17, 1903. Growing up in Dayton, Orville and Wilbur Wright were autodidactically interested in aviation and built their own airplanes. They improved their planes through glider trials at Kitty Hawk and studies in the wind tunnel. Before their first powered flight on December 17, 1903, the Wright brothers designed an internal combustion engine in Dayton. The Wright brothers secured their success by obtaining patents, then improved their airplanes and founded the Wright Company. The Wright brothers' historic 1903 airplane is on permanent display at the National Air and Space Museum. Please subscribe to our channel. Do not forget to like our video and continue to follow our content about other historical events. Today in history. In 1912, a discovery made in the village of Piltdown by an amateur paleontologist named Charles Dawson was the beginning of an event that shook the scientific world. Dawson discovered the skeleton, which he named Piltdown Man. However, this discovery would reveal a big secret over time. Detailed analysis in the 1920s and 1930s revealed Piltdown Man to be a fake. The skull belonged to a human, the jaw belonged to an orangutan. The scientific world was stunned by this fraud. The fact that Piltdown Man was not real was an event that shook the theories of evolution. This fraud highlighted the need for caution and constant questioning in science. Piltdown Man remains a huge fraud in history. Please subscribe to our channel. Do not forget to like our video and continue to follow our content about other historical events. Today in history. Today we will talk a little about the last manned trip to the moon, Apollo 17 mission. Launched on December 7, 1972, Apollo 17 marked the end of manned missions to the moon. Astronauts Eugene Cernan, Harrison Schmitt, and Ronald Evans were the team chosen for this epic journey. What made Apollo 17 special was its long explorations and intense scientific work on the moon's surface. Astronauts went deep into the moon and collected many important data. On December 19, 1972, the astronauts returned safely to Earth. With Apollo 17, the human voice remained silent on the moon for a while. This unforgettable mission brought the end of humanity's great discoveries on the moon. Please subscribe to our channel. Do not forget to like our video and continue to follow our content about other historical events. Today in history. On December 20th, 2007, thieves committed a robbery at the São Paulo Museum of Art, stealing Pablo Picasso's portrait of Suzanne Bloch. At around 5 in the morning, 3 people entered the museum during the shift change of security guards. Within minutes, they stole the portrait. The theft led to criticism of the museum's management, as there was no alarm system and most of the works were uninsured. But the thieves' celebrations were short-lived. In January 2008, the paintings were found undamaged in a house on the outskirts of São Paulo, and police arrested 2 people, with reports in the national press at the time suggesting that the location had been tipped off by a 3rd suspect. It continues to be exhibited today at the São Paulo Museum of Art. Please subscribe to our channel. Do not forget to like our video and continue to follow our content about other historical events. Today in history. Today we will learn how James Naismith invented basketball in 1891. Naismith was looking for a solution to solve the problem of finding activities for students during the harsh winter months. With a football, 2 peach baskets, and 13 rules, basketball was born. I called the kids into the gym, divided them into teams of 9, and gave them a little football, Naismith recalls in a 1939 radio interview. I had nailed up baskets at each end of the gym and told them my goal was to throw the ball into the opposing team's peach basket. I blew the whistle and the first basketball game started. The first college basketball games were played in the mid-1890s, and Naismith served as the basketball coach at the University of Kansas. By the time of Naismith's death, basketball gained popularity around the world and is today a sport enjoyed by millions of people around the world. Please subscribe our channel and like our videos. Today in history. Imagine a person looks like an ordinary plane passenger, but tries to destroy an entire plane with bombs hidden in his shoes. Here I will tell you this story, the shoe bomb plot. On December 22, 2001, a terrorist traveling on American Airlines Flight 63 tried to detonate bombs hidden in his shoes during the flight, but Reed had difficulty lighting the fuse in his shoes. Passengers and crew thwarted Reed's attempt. The plane was diverted to Logan International Airport in Boston, and Massachusetts State Police took Reed into custody. Reed pleaded guilty to 8 terrorism-related charges in 2002 and was sentenced to life in prison. The shoe bomb was so dangerous that it could puncture a hole in the fuselage of the plane and cause the plane to crash. Please subscribe our channel and like our videos for other historical events. Today in history, Vincent van Gogh chops off his ear. Vincent van Gogh's life was shaped by that unforgettable day on December 23, 1888. When he moved to Arles, Van Gogh's paintings began to become colorful. Sunflowers, a riot of colors, and the transformation in his art. But his brother Theo's financial support and his relationship with Gauguin turned into a dark vortex. On December 23, 1888, as a result of his conflict with Gauguin, Van Gogh cut off his own ear and left a scream to the world. Following the incident in Arles, Van Gogh was admitted to a mental hospital. During this difficult period, his productivity was at its peak, and unforgettable works emerged. Finally, on July 27, 1890, Van Gogh ended his life in loneliness and despair. Please subscribe our channel and like our videos for other historical events. Today in history. Massacre in the Shadow of the Strike, the Italian salon disaster of 1913. The 1913 massacre is a tragic event that occurred during the strike period of mine workers working at the Calumet and Hecla Mining Company in the town of Calumet, Michigan, USA. During the strike at the Christmas party organized by WFM, panic started with a false cry of "fire," causing more than 400 people in the Italian hall to run towards the stairs. Unfortunately, although there was no fire, 73 people, including 59 children, were crushed to death in the chaotic moments. Investigations after the incident revealed that the person who screamed was probably an ally of the mining company. This tragic event remained in memory as a painful memory during the mine workers' strike in 1913. Please subscribe our channel and like our videos. Today in history. The Hurricane Cyclone Tracy, which almost destroyed the city, formed in Australia in December 1974, was strengthened by the energy it received from warm water surfaces and began to move towards the city of Darwin. On December 25, 1974, the hurricane hit Darwin. Winds reached up to 240 km/h, and Tracy caused massive destruction along with heavy rainfall and winds. Darwin suffered great destruction under the severity of Tracy. Many buildings were completely destroyed, 71 people lost their lives, and thousands of people were left homeless. After the hurricane, rescue teams tried to reach those under the rubble under difficult weather conditions. Cyclone Tracy left a deep impact on Australia's hurricane preparations and infrastructure and led to significant changes in the country. Today in history. The giant earthquake that occurred in the Indian Ocean on December 26, 2004, and the subsequent tsunami hit the coasts of Sri Lanka, India, Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Maldives, and the Indian Ocean, costing the lives of more than 230,000 people. Following the earthquake, the tsunami formed by giant waves. It hit coastal cities, causing instant destruction. People fled desperately to survive. Rescue teams mobilized to save those trapped under the rubble and help the injured. The world came together to support millions of people in need of help. The tsunami almost destroyed many cities with the damage it left. Homes, infrastructure, and communities have entered a recovery process that will last many years. Today, we commemorate this disaster in 2004 and pay tribute to those we lost. Please subscribe our channel and like our videos. Today in history. In 1981, Pope Paul II. While Jean-Paul was meeting with a congregation, gunshots suddenly rang out. Mehmet Ali Agha shot at the Pope. However, the incident was not just an assassination attempt. During the court process that started with Agha's arrest, after the Pope's assassination, his statement explained the reason for his action. He stated that he acted with a political motivation and that his goal was to convey a religious and political message. In 1983, Pope John II, Jean-Paul made a surprising decision. He announced that he forgave Mehmet Ali Agha. The Pope viewed forgiveness as a tool for restoring human bonds, promoting social peace and inner peace, reflecting his belief in human values. Please subscribe to our channel. Do not forget to like our video and continue to follow our content about other historical events. Today in history. She was a clockworker in the Netherlands in 1922. With the German occupation of the Netherlands, Corrie and her family began hiding and rescuing their Jewish neighbors and refugees in a secret room they built in their home called the Hiding Place. However, on February 28, 1944, a Dutch informant reported the Ten Boom family's resistance activities to the Nazis. Her family was arrested. She goes through a dark period with dozens of people. She experiences difficult days, hunger, cold, and inhumane conditions. However, Corrie's endurance defies despair. One day, she is unexpectedly released. However, this freedom cannot make him forget the pain left behind by the people she loves. Corrie 10. Boom takes up her pen to share her experiences. The work, The Hiding Place, tells about the horror of war and the resilience of the human spirit. Today in History, Orville. Lynn Majors was known as a popular nurse at Vermilion County Hospital, especially among elderly patients. However, there was a significant increase in the hospital death rate after Majors started working. Between 1993 and 1995, when Majors was on duty and keep watch, there was almost one death a day in the hospital. In 1995, following an investigation into Nurse Dawn Steerek's suspicions, Majors' license was suspended for 5 years, and he was dismissed by the hospital. Majors was arrested in 1997 and charged with 7 murders. At a 1999 trial, Majors was found guilty of 6 murders and sentenced to 6 counts of 60 years in prison under Indiana law. Majors died of heart failure in prison in 2017. Please subscribe our channel and like our videos for other historical events. Today in history. In 1610, Hungarian aristocrat Elizabeth Bathory was arrested in Szeged Castle for the torture and murder of hundreds of young girls and women. She also had her own methods of torture and murder. According to some reports, she allegedly strangled young girls to death in her bathtub and even drank their blood. Why did Elizabeth Bathory become like this? According to a research article by Alexandra Bartosiewicz published in 2018, she struggled with epileptic seizures, severe mood swings, and migraine headaches from her childhood. At the age of 15, Bathory married 20-year-old Count Ferenc Nadasdy. They moved to Nadasdy Castle in Sarvar, and here she witnessed the practice of torture in which Nadasdy had trained. Bathory's perverse tendencies increased when he punished his servants with gloves, equipped with claws that Nadasdy gave him as a gift. Today, in history. In 1695, homeowners were introduced to a strange tax determined by the number of their windows. Their windows meant a tax burden, but this tax also ignited a creative resistance. Shopkeepers who wanted to avoid taxes began to cover their windows with brick walls. But this was only the beginning, because the tax collectors wandering the streets were astonished by the brick walls they encountered. Although the windows appeared to be closed, tradesmen began to secretly use the hidden windows behind the brick walls for their work. This secret game that tradesmen played to evade tax officials turned the streets into a feast of humor. When the tax was abolished in 1851, screams of joy rose in the streets. This secret game also reveals how society's understanding of taxes has changed and the lasting effects of resistance. Please subscribe our channel and like our videos.